Andy Roddick pinpoints what is crazy impressive after Alexandra Eala's Australian Open exit. Alexandra Eala was unable to take advantage of her strong start in Australia, eventually losing her first-round match to Alicia Parks. Eala began the match in fine form, winning the first set 6-0. However, she was unable to capitalize, losing the next two sets 6-3, 6-2. Despite the loss, there were positives for Eala to take away from the match, most notably, the level of support she received in the stadium. Fans poured into Court 6 to watch Eala play, leading to queues outside the stadium and a plethora of Filipino flags displayed in the crowd. Eala's popularity is evident for all to see, not least to Andy Roddick. Andy Roddick says Alexandra Eala's following is crazy impressive. Andy Roddick, the former world number 1, has been left stunned by the popularity of Alexandra Eala. People come out for their stars, Roddick said on the Served podcast. You look at the views on her press conferences versus the top stars in the world, she has a massive following in the Philippines, it's crazy impressive, and it's something that tournaments are going to have to pay attention to. Didn't work out, Parks won, great win for her, but this is the type of story you cheer for, because it's great for tennis. As noted by Roddick, Eala's press conferences have garnered more attention from tennis fans than those of her higher-ranked peers. Eala's pre-tournament press conference has garnered 178,000 views on YouTube, the most of any player at the event, including Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner and Coco Gauff. Eala may be the most popular player on tour, as discussed by IGA Swiatek on Monday. Alexandra Eala loses her Australian Open doubles match. Alexandra Eala's 2026 Australian Open campaign is now officially over after the Filipina lost in the first round of the women's doubles event. Eala and Ingrid Guimara Martins were unable to overcome Magda Linette and Shuko Aoyama on Tuesday, losing 7-6, 2-6, 6-3. Linette and Aoyama will play Rebecca Sramkova and Linda Noskova or Asia Mohammed and Erin Routliffe in the second round. After concluding her Australian Open campaign, Eala has the opportunity to take part in the inaugural WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open in Manila. Crazy impressive, what Andy Roddick saw in Alexandra Eala after the loss. Losses in tennis are loud if you listen closely. They echo in the scrape of shoes across blue courts, in the unfinished follow-through of a forehand, in the way a player pauses an extra second before packing her bag. At the Australian Open, where summer heat presses down like a second opponent, Alexandra Eala's exit did not arrive with fireworks or headlines screaming upset. It arrived quietly, yet it left behind something that Andy Roddick, watching with the practiced eye of someone who has lived every version of that moment, called crazy impressive. That phrase, casual, almost tossed off, carried more weight than it seemed. Roddick has always been allergic to empty praise. His commentary, whether from a broadcast booth or a podcast microphone, tends to slice through hype and land on something sturdier, patterns, habits, instincts that separate the talented from the inevitable. So when he zeroed in on Eala after her Australian Open run ended, he wasn't mourning what she failed to do. He was pointing at what she already does. And that distinction matters. The scoreline never tells the whole story. For fans scrolling results, an early round exit can look like a full stop. But to former players, it's often a comma. Roddick has been on both sides of that punctuation. He knows how a loss at a major can either expose fragility or reveal steel. What struck him about Eala wasn't that she pushed a match to 3 sets or flirted with an upset, it was the way she occupied the court, the way she belonged there without apology. That's crazy impressive, he suggested. Not because she dominated, but because she didn't shrink. At an age when many players are still negotiating nerves, still asking permission from the moment, Eala played with a sense of spatial authority. She took returns early. She committed to patterns. She didn't negotiate with doubt mid-swing. Those are not highlights you clip for social media, but they are the raw materials of a professional career. Composure is a skill, not a personality trait. One of the great myths of tennis development is that calmness is innate. Roddick, who once detonated serves at 150 miles per hour while wrestling openly with emotion, knows better. Composure is built. And Eala, even in defeat, showed evidence of that construction. There was no theatrical frustration. No spiraling after a missed opportunity. Between points, her body language reset with discipline, as if each rally existed in isolation. Roddick has seen this before, not in juniors chasing trophies, but in players who survive the long middle years of the tour. That's the part that's crazy impressive, the maturity to treat a Grand Slam court not as a stage, but as a workplace. The courage to play forward. Another detail Roddick lingered on was Eala's refusal to retreat into safety. Young players, especially on big stages, often default to margin. They loop the ball higher, stand farther back, wait for errors. Eala didn't. She played forward tennis. She stepped inside the baseline. She accepted risk not recklessly, but deliberately. That willingness to lose on her terms is something Roddick recognizes as a precursor to greatness. It's easier to lose carefully. It's harder, and more revealing, to lose bravely. In a sport that punishes hesitation more cruelly than aggression, that instinct is gold. Loss as information, not indictment. Perhaps the most Roddick-esque takeaway was philosophical rather than technical. He didn't frame Eala's exit as a failure. He framed it as data. Every loss at this level is a diagnostic. How does your game hold up when returns come back faster? When serves get neutralized? When opponents sense nerves and press? Roddick understood that Eala walked off that court with answers, not regrets. That perspective is rare among fans, rarer still among young players. But it is second nature to champions. What's crazy impressive is not that Eala avoided being overwhelmed. It's that she seemed to be collecting experience in real time, filing it away, already preparing for the next iteration of herself. The long view. Andy Roddick's career ended years ago, but his eye for trajectory remains sharp. He knows that tennis greatness is not a straight line. It's a slow accumulation of competencies, most of them invisible to casual observers. He saw in Eala a player ahead of schedule in the areas that matter most long-term: decision-making, emotional regulation, tactical curiosity. The Australian Open did not crown her, but it tested her. And she passed the test that doesn't come with a trophy. In Roddick's world, that's the test that predicts everything else. Why crazy impressive is high praise. From someone else, the phrase might sound vague. From Roddick, it's precise. It means, this player understands the job. It means, she's not borrowing confidence, she's building it. It means, this loss won't sit on her shoulders, it will sharpen her. Alexandra Eala left Melbourne without a win that would alter the draw. But she left with something rarer, the respect of a former world number one who knows exactly how hard this sport is, and how few players respond to it the right way. That's why, long after the scoreboard faded, Roddick's words lingered.